God's Day, and welcome back to another episode of Ree's Being Refined by the Fires. I'm Ree, and today I've been trying to think of what can I talk about today, and I couldn't come up with anything. God's been working on me. So I've been feeling kind of creative, and I was going back through my writings, my creative writings, my poetry, and my short stories. And I happened to run across one of my short stories that was actually published when I was living in Houston and attended Northwest Houston Community College, which is now part of the Houston Community College system. They've bought out the other college. And this was actually published. I even have a book that it was published in. But I printed this out and I won an award for it for my creative writing. And the thing is, the differences between my identical twin cousins, it's not really accurate. It's based on two cousins on my mom's side, sisters. They have a niece named Shamira. And I have two cousins, a brother and sister, on my dad's side, who have a cousin whose name is Shamari, a boy. So those are perfect twin names, Shamara and Shamari. So I made both of them girls. And then people usually focus on the similarities of twins. So I focused on not just the similarities, but the differences. Because even though they look alike and they have a lot of the same interests, there are a lot of differences too that people often don't think about. But I wrote a paper based on the differences between the cousins, who I say are mine, but this is fictitious. Like I say, I do know a girl named Shamara and a boy named Shamari, but I made the boy into a girl and made them siblings, twins, identical twins. And so this is the paper. For years, I have been fascinated by the mysterious quirk of nature called twins. In my family, there are several sets of identical twins, and I have always concentrated on their similarities. I did not realize that identical twins also have many differences. My identical twin cousins, Shamara and Shamari, appear to be perfect mirror images. They love to dress alike. They can feel each other's pain. They even sound alike, and they complete each other's sentences. But upon taking a closer look, I have found that they are as different as day and night. Aside from Shamara and Shamari's outward characteristics, they possess several distinguishing traits that allow them to be viewed as two separate, independent individuals. Shamara and Shamari are total opposites intellectually. Shamara is not a very good student. She absolutely hates school and only does enough work to get by. She does not study and refuses to apply herself. She has a bad habit of procrastinating when it comes to her schoolwork. For example, one of her class assignments was a Black History report on any one of her choice. The assignment was given on a Monday and was due the following Friday. Shamara did not begin working on her project until Thursday evening. As a result of her not allowing herself enough time to prepare her material, she received a low grade on her report. Shamari, on the other hand, is an exceptional student. She does more than what is expected from her by her teachers. She asks for extra assignments to keep her busy in her spare time. She takes her studies seriously. She prepares well in advance for each assignment and takes her time in completing her work. For instance, her class received the same Black History assignment as her sisters, and Shamari began her research and drafting the same day the assignment was given. By the middle of the week, she had edited and revised her final draft and typed and finished her report. Her grades positively reflected her efforts. Shamari and Shamara also possess very dissimilar personalities. Shamara is a free spirit. She is wild and crazy and thrives on adventure. One night at a football game, she was dared by some of her peers to go onto the field and moon the opposition. Needless to say, she took the dare, and she took the dare. She is very talkative, a real chatterbox. She is also very quick-tempered and impatient. For example, the slightest thing like a grocery store clerk slowly checking out customers in the line she is in will cause her to become irrational. On the other hand, Shamari is extremely conservative. On the same occasion that Shamara was desired to moon the opposition on the football field, Shamari was given the same dare but would not even consider such an immature prank. Shamari does not talk much. She is very shy. She is known as the level-headed and laid-back twin. Shamara and Shamari's personal interests and goals further reflect their individual styles and tastes. Shamari is very creative. She is talented, a self-taught artist. She can draw practically anything she has seen. Shamara is also a very good athlete. She plays tennis in her leisure time, and she's on her school's basketball and track teams. She has great endurance. She can run miles without easily tiring and can play several consecutive games of basketball and tennis without breaking a sweat. Her future goals are to attend the Art Institute of Houston, obtain a degree in commercial art, and become a commercial artist for an advertising agency. On the other hand, Shamari loves taking care of animals. Whenever possible, she volunteers to babysit her friends, neighbors, and relatives' pets while they are away from home. She has several pets of her own: 2 cats, a dog, 4 hamsters, and a 10-gallon aquarium of fish. She also loves to read. She makes it a habit to read daily, whether it's a newspaper, a magazine, or a book. She especially loves to read novels. She is even a member of a mail-order book club. She plans to attend Texas Southern University and major in veterinary medicine with a minor in business administration. Her future goal is to own a veterinary clinic. Shamara and Shamari have as many differences as they have similarities, but they do not compete with each other. They are like built-in best friends. Sometimes they communicate with one another by an unspoken means, telepathy. Shamara and Shamari are a remarkable creation. On the outside, they are a perfect mirror image, but on the inside, they are as different as night and day. By Renesia Y. Kirby, my second husband's last name. So, because this was written back in the early 90s, it's not dated, but my son, who's now, I can't even think. He was a toddler. He used to go to school with me, go to college with me when he was like 2, 3 years old. He'd go and he have his little backpack, his little toys and his snacks in his backpack. And he was going to a big school with his mom. Yep, those were the days. But like I said, this was a paper, a comparison and contrast paper that I really thought out of the box on this. And I put in a lot of effort and it paid off. So if you have an assignment and if it doesn't have to be based on the truth, if you can change the directives, because like I say, they're related, but these were 2 people I knew of that had no relation to each other. They were my cousins on my mom's side, niece, and my cousins on my dad's side, my dad's side cousin who was a boy. But I made both of them into identical twins who were both girls. So with that said, it can be done. If it's within the guidelines, don't break rules, but that wasn't a rule. It didn't have to be realistic. So and I broke the rules. Well, I made my own rules. I didn't break any because it wasn't any. This was a freelance. We had free reign and we could use whatever topic we wanted to. The only parameters was we had to compare and contrast uh something. And I chose to do identical twins. And seemingly most people, like I say, most people focus on their similarities, not their individual personalities and likes and dislikes, their tastes. So but yeah. So get to writing. It can be done. This paper won me, I think I got a gift certificate. And it got printed in the college's book. It wasn't a yearbook. It was like a little paperback book that I don't even remember who it was issued to. I got a copy, but as you see, I've read this off of a paper that I printed out. The differences between my identical cousins. So sometimes, if there's no parameters that you can have to work within, think out of the box. They weren't even related. They were related to me. Someone they were related to was related to me, but they weren't related. I don't think they've ever even met. So that just goes to show, use your brain, be creative, be creative. This won me first place, and I got this published in the colleges. The colleges. It was a 2-year college, but still, it got published in the college's book of poetry. So, with that said, get to working. Creativity is a gift. So, and if you're creative, anybody has creativity. God was creative and he made everybody. He gave everybody a gift. So, and creativity, it's a muscle. You have to work it. If you don't work it, of course you don't realize. If you don't realize you have creativity, you're not going to work it. And it's going to be weak. So, just like your physical muscles, you have to work them in order to get them strong. Yeah. So, again, hope you like this. Hope you like my short story, my compare and contrast story. And please like, subscribe, and share with someone else who could be edutained. Also, next week will be next Wednesday will be my final episode of my special guest, season 7. The pastor of New Orleans, Pastor Fred Luter Jr. from Franklin Avenue Baptist Church, the church that I joined when I first moved down here to Louisiana in 2012. Well, no, we moved down here in 2009, but I didn't join the church until 2012. July 1st, 2012. I found my paper. And actually, I'm in the process of interviewing him now. But with that said, tune in, like, subscribe. That way you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. And may you and yours stay blessed. Love you. Bye-bye.